So in this video, we're going to talk about the squat. And right off the bat, the squat might not seem dance specific. However, as physical therapists, when we look at the way dancers squat, we can also tell a lot of things that may be happening up the chain, not just in relationship to the foot, but the knee, and also very importantly, the hip as well. So this is very indicative of things like your ability to control turnout, your ability to land efficiently from a jump, and your ability to initiate a jump. So first things first, we're going to start from the bottom up. We're going to talk about your feet. So what I want you to think about in terms of a stable base in the squat is that you're going to think about your big toe, your little toe, and your heel. What that's going to do is it's going to create a tripod. Now a tripod is going to be a lot more solid as far as being a base to move from. What you're thinking about is not letting the arch collapse in, but you are thinking about maintaining that arch. And it's not just about trying to dome your foot, even though that is part of it. You're going to think about doming the foot, but you're also going to think about your hip here, rotating out, controlling that alignment from your hip to your knee to your second toe. Yes? You'll notice that when Crystal rotates in this way with her hip internally rotating, you see how that foot kind of collapses in, and that's going to be that same issue we see in a lot of dancers, especially in a first position turnout. So from here, if she's able to control her hip out this way, maintaining all these points of contact, she's going to have a much stable base to move from, and all of these small ligaments and small muscles are not going to get stressed out. So once more from the side, you can see that Crystal is going to maintain the tripod position through here, and she's going to maintain that arch through her the inside of her foot. But if she is in this position, but watch, as she turns her knee inwards, her whole foot collapses this way. And this is something, like I said, we often see. So you're thinking about your foot, but really that control has to come from the hip. So if from here, if she's able to maintain that hip stability and hip control, you can see how that contributes all the way down the chain. So let's take a look at the squat. This is going to feel a little different because it's not like your regular plie where your knees are going over your toes. In fact, I want you to keep your knees behind your toes. Good. From here, it's almost like you're sitting back in a chair. And you'll notice that when Crystal comes back here, she's trying to maintain that external rotation of her legs, of her hips. So even though she's in a parallel position, she's using those same turnout muscles to control that alignment all the way down to her foot, right? For example, if she were to let her knees cave in this way, you see how her foot caves in. She's only putting weight on her big toe and not out here. She doesn't have that, she's not recreating that arch. But from here, this is a complete over-exaggeration, but if you were to think about stable base from your foot, think about that knee alignment, slowly rotating out from your hip muscles, using your turnout muscles, you're gonna have a much better idea of where to move from and how you're moving. So from here and back up. So what Crystal is doing, she is bending at her hips and back down, almost like she's sitting in an invisible chair. Very nice. Good. Maintaining that light turnout. Good. Maintaining that arch in the foot, tripod in the foot, and back up. Good. Let's take a look from the side. So once again, we're thinking about sitting back into that chair position. You'll see that her knees don't go right over her toes, but from here, she's able to maintain that foot stability, and she's also maintaining that spine, that nice neutral spine and stability through here. What we might find sometimes is if people start arching through, and once again, gripping through your low back, you want to think breathing out, TA pushing out through the sides, hinging at your hips. The other thing we don't want is to just completely collapse into your hips this way. It's almost like you're trying to initiate from a jump where you start to move and pause. So you're using your glutes to really hold yourself up instead of just resting into your hip. So from here and back up. Good. Let's go one more time. Back down. Good. Maintaining that neutral spine. Abdominal control. Not sitting into your hips. Using your glutes to hold yourself up and push up. Good. one more time. Here we go.